Hello everyone and welcome to Game 2 in a series between oGs's MC versus LiquidRet here on Metalopolis. We have MC spawning as the red Protoss player over here at the 6 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have LiquidRet spawning here as the blue Zerg. Zerg versus Protoss here on Metalopolis, and I am curious to see what exactly LiquidRet will be going for. If you have not seen Game 1 already, Game 1 was a really aggressive play by oGs's MC. He did do a gateway into a forge and was able to use cannons and zealots to just dish out the beatdown onto Red. Red had opened up with a 15 hatchery, and if he tries to go for another 15 hatchery, he may find himself on the poor end of a beating stick once again, as now we're going to see oGs coming up with this probe. This probe, however, will reveal where exactly MC is to LiquidRet, as this probe is coming in relatively early. And I cannot imagine that Red would go for another early spawning pool. I assume another early hatchery. I believe he will be going for a 14 spawning pool with an extractor, just so that he doesn't fall prey to the same tactic again. So the game is now underway. We do currently getting up into 14 and now getting that spawning pool there. There we go. LiquidRet not opening up with the same opening this time, as now we should be getting a gateway in just a moment, while oGs getting up into 15 and now going for a forge. So he is going for a forge, and he will be going for a cannon rush once again. And now, if he does try to get pylons down over here on that low ground, he will be able to prevent any units from being able to escape in any serious way, as this probe now still wandering around. The probe could have even tried to come down here and place down a pylon, but you cannot warp in buildings on the creep, so it would probably have to be right here in order to get even cannons into this location. Anyways, and we'll see what exactly is going to be happening, as that forge is currently nearing completion, and I don't see any probes just quite yet. We do see a pylon down here on the low ground, and then maybe a forge fast expand. So a forge fast expand, not too out of the ordinary. I mean, probably that probe is still wandering around on the inside trying to figure out what exactly is coming out. He did see that not that many larvae was being saved, so only 2 Zerglings being produced, and now we are getting that critical photon cannon taking 40 game seconds to build. And now oGs, knowing the exact locations where to place all of his buildings, finally gets a nexus here and may get another photon cannon here, and he will actually fast expand against a red. And oh no, what is that, a gateway there. So now in comes his photon cannon. Zerglings will not be able to get any real damage in, and oh, that last Zergling able to barely escape there, as that probe once again is on the move. That probe perhaps should return back, try to come back home, and will get taken down by that one Zergling, as we now have this hatchery in play. So this hatchery currently sitting at 25 units of time nearing completion, so we had MC expanding more quickly than Red. So the Protoss player actually fast expanding more quickly than the Zerg, and now with so much chrono boost being saved, he can either build up a very, very large army of zealots, or try to get that cybernetics core and chrono boost that out and get that warp gate research out very, very quickly as well. Back over here, we currently see that the hatchery is still nearing completion, as this one queen now makes its way over. We do see a second queen now out, as a creep tumor is also being laid down. A drone should be coming down in order to build and become a spine crawler in just a moment. Production-wise, the Nexus has been completed, the Cybernetics core about halfway, as 2 probes are now currently being trained. oGs is looking at a very, very strong economic game right now. As you can see, his harvester count sitting at 26 harvesters, and with double chrono boost, he will be able to just continue to saturate these mineral patches very easily. His economy should be nearing about 1,000 minerals a minute in the next 60 seconds or so. The Zerglings now on their way down. The Zerglings do have that metabolic boost, want to try to push in and try to get through here, but that gateway does have too many hit points. There is already 2 photon cannons in this location here. I do not believe these Zerglings will be able to really deal any serious damage at all, as oGs has probably practiced this build a number of times. But now we see Red doing a little bit sneaky of a move over here, getting a 3rd hatchery at the expansion of the 12 o'clock location. So with that expansion there, he should be able to get a strong economy. It will be difficult to transfer any drones though, and without a creep highway to link them, it will be very difficult to get any reinforcements into that location. 32 harvesters compared to 30. both sides just playing a very macro style game, trying to get strong economies going. We see MC now getting into 1,000 minerals a minute and also mining more gas as well. Production wise, now going into 4 gateways. So wow, this is going to be a 6 gate, a fast expand into a 6 gate, and that is going to be a world of hurt once again for LiquidRet. That's going to be a lot of units in order for him to deal with. And we also see chrono boost on the level 1 weapons upgrade, and that is going to be very, very difficult for Ret to counter. If he power drones too much, then he's going to not have a large enough army to fight back. If he doesn't power drone enough, he's not going to have, he's not going to be able to match the economy of that double production nexuses with those chrono boosts. We now see assimilators now coming in, so this may be a zealot sentry centered army, as we now see a spire coming online. No, we now currently see 2 stalkers coming in, warping into play. What is going to be happening? We do see a couple drones now over here. We do not see a queen just quite yet. Production wise, that spire may be a little bit of a problem, as he's going to be trying to create very, very expensive units, and those stalkers will be able to deal significant damage and also have a decent move speed as they move around, especially with that level 1's weapons upgrade, increasing their damage 10% against those mutalisks. We do see stalkers and sentries now moving out, and oGs getting just so much gas will be able to move out with this very strong army here, and now the sentries are there in order to deal with those zerglings, and now in comes a pylon queen now taking a lot of damage. The queen trying to escape. Will it be able to escape? Oh yes, it will be able to escape at 15 hit points, and now long distance spine crawler getting 1 attack there. We do see some zerglings over here, and now more zerglings in production. So army wise, you see 1,200 for oGs, 725 for Ret, and now with this pylon online, you're going to see a large army of stalkers continuing to be warped in. 4 sentries have a lot of energy between them, and in comes the spine crawler. Stalker now coming in as well. Queen now coming in. Zerglings need to come in as well. Zerglings now going to come in from behind, able to get behind, and now oGs is being flanked. There are currently 2 spine crawlers dealing the majority of that damage against those stalkers, as those zerglings are picking apart, and those stalkers are having a difficult time trying to retreat home. Zerglings more coming in once again, able to deal more damage, and now zealots are coming in to reinforce. More zerglings still being produced, and now really well played by Ret. Ret just transitioning into mass zerglings will be able to perhaps finish off this attacking army. And now, even though oGs has the stronger army at this stage, there are still spine crawlers here. We should probably get a queen in for a transfusion. This one spine crawler already bleeding to death. Or sorry, it can't bleed to death as it still is on creep. It's bleeding, but somehow it's able to heal itself while losing so much blood. So those Zerglings are going to perhaps try to run up this ramp in just a moment. There we go. However, finding an army of Zealots. So Zealots have that level 1 weapons upgrade, which will quickly diminish how much life those Zerglings are, or how much damage those Zerglings are able to take up. And I forgot to put up my busy signal. So now in come those Zerglings. Zerglings now trying to swarm in through here. We do see a lot of photon cannons trying to come in, but those Zerglings now being forced to push back over here. We see one queen, another spine crawler. The queen trying to force these units back, as those Zerglings are now simply going to take down this pylon and cut off the reinforcements. There we go. As those zealots are now trying to pull back once again, in comes some more force fields, but this is a very, very dangerous place for oGs. oGs is being forced to fight in between 2 armies now, as more spine crawlers should be laid down. We still see that oGs has a stronger army at this stage, as Zerglings have nowhere really to run. And now coming in over here, another pylon trying to be warped in, but as that creep spreads, it will be more and more difficult for oGs to really do anything. The Stalker's now up on that high ground, starting to shoot down. We'll be able to get into a couple quick more hits, as more creep tumors are still being laid down. And now it looks as though, oGs is trying to get a little bit of a reprieve, trying to build up a stronger economy. Income-wise, both sides are fairly even, and now in come these Stalkers and Sentries trying to take down these Overlords. Overlords out of position, and now supply lock, so Ret in trouble. He's not going to be able to produce any additional units. We do see the level 1 weapons upgrade, and do we have any Mutalisks in the air? No Mutalisks in the air. Getting the level 1 attack upgrades, though, as this Queen now trying to fight back. In comes some more force fields. Zerglings getting caught out of position, but those spine crawlers will be able to deal a lot of damage, and with the protection of those force fields. Those Zerglings really want to engage, though, as this one Overlord now trying to pull back. More and more units are still being produced. 24 Zerglings now in production, as Ret should perhaps try to transfer some of these drones. And now now Zerglings now trying to push in once again. Will the Stalkers be able to do anything? Stalkers just pushing back. The 6-gate rush, so effective here now. And now, even though the Zerglings are trying to finish off, in comes a nice block on that ramp, and Red says GG. So wow, well played by oGs's MC. Just if you do not know what oGs is one of the top Korean clans, and this amazing 6-gate rush just showing how effective. This game was. Now, one of the key things to be critical of is you have to think about this game in retrospect of the previous game on Lost Temple. The game on Lost Temple was just put Red really much behind the 8-ball. He was so afraid of a forge gateway rush that he got those Zerglings, and that allowed, he got that earlier spawning pool and played a little bit more defensively, and that allowed MC to get this early Nexus down here. He did get the forge first and then get a pylon and a photon cannon here with that gateway. And with that gateway here, he knew that he could hold off a large number of Zerglings. He then just chrono boosted and got a very strong economy. You can see he has 15 probes here and 15 probes here on each of these mineral lines. He had lost a couple, but he didn't go for full saturation. He decided instead to get 2 probes per mineral patch because that third probe does have diminishing returns. So as soon as he stopped his probe production, he stopped his probe production, he was able to simply concentrate all on Zealots, Sentries, and Stalkers. And with that Zealot, Sentry, Stalker army just pushing out, with those 38 Harvesters behind him, he was able to simply power 6 gateways and macro up a large enough army. I had thought that Red would have a strong enough army. He was producing a lot of Zerglings, but he never got a Roach Warren, and this was due to the fact that he never scouted out the Zerg player. If he had scouted out the Zerg, if he had seen these 6 gateways, he would have known to go for those Roaches. That is absolutely critical, to go Roaches against gateway units. I know Roaches against gateway units, you may think that it is a little bit unfair, but or that it may be one-sided, but the Roaches actually have a higher, I believe they have a higher DPS than those Stalkers. They're much cheaper, and they're very effective as well. They can also burrow to regenerate, and I think if he had gone Roaches, if Red had gone Roaches instead of trying to go for Mutalisk, it would have been much more effective, and he wouldn't have fallen to this Stalker Sentry rush. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between MC and Rhett here on Metalopolis. I don't know if I casted these games out of orders, as I still have another game in this 3-game set, so stay tuned for that as well.